Is it worth buying Chinese watches in 2023? Was it ever worth buying a Chinese watch? And why are we even talking about China in regards to horology? I mean, they're not Switzerland, so who cares, right? It is 11:46 a.m. Let's get down to business. Real quick, guys, I do want to remind you it's almost that time for the T3 Shop's Black Friday sale. Black Friday, November 24th. That is Friday at midnight Pacific. The site goes live with a whole bunch of new inventory and some really cool pieces you don't want to miss out on. Use this coupon code at checkout and save yourself some money. So when we're talking about Chinese watches, it's no secret that a lot of micro-brand pieces that we've taken a look at here on this channel have been produced in Asia, some specifically in China. And while China might not be the first country you think of when you think horology, there are some things we should consider. I mean, a simple Google search will show Tianjin Seagull Watch Group is a watchmaking company located in Tianjin, China. Again, most of us know Seagull watches, the Seagull 1963. We're going to talk about that a little more in a little bit. Founded in 1955, it's the world's largest manufacturer of mechanical watch movements, producing 1/4 of the total global production by volume. That is a whole lot of watch movements made in China. But massive production numbers aren't the only way that China's affecting the horological world. According to Statista.com, in China, the watch market is projected to generate a revenue of just under $18 billion in 2023. The market is expected to experience an annual growth rate of 5.97% from 2023 to 2026. When compared to other countries, China stands out as the top revenue generator in global watch market with a projected revenue of, again, just under $18 billion. In terms of per capita income, each person in China is expected to contribute about $12.20 to the watch market revenue in 2023. Additionally, in 2023, 67% of watches in the watch market in China will be attributed to luxury. China's growing middle class is fueling a surge in demand for luxury watches, making it the world's largest market for high-end timepieces. So China makes a lot of watches, and it's obvious that China buys a whole lot of watches. So people that write China off as being just kind of an insignificant player in the horological space, they're either snobs or they're ignorant, or both. So let's go back to the questions that I posed at the beginning of the episode. Is it worth buying a Chinese watch? How do I feel about Chinese watches? And let's add another question. Why are Chinese watches looked down upon amongst some watch enthusiasts? I'll try to answer these one by one. I've had the opportunity, the pleasure, the honor of taking a look at a whole lot of watches. Guys, you've changed my life. Not to get all sappy, but being the time teller has allowed me to immerse myself in a hobby that I truly love and am passionate about. Like, I get to go into work every day and play with watches, which is something a lot of you guys do for fun. And you guys have allowed me to make a career out of it, and I'm so grateful, guys. Thank you. But with all of that, seeing a whole bunch of watches and seeing a whole lot of watches from Asia, again, specifically China, I've seen a lot of kind of crummy watches, but there have been some Chinese watchmakers that have really impressed me. One that comes to mind is Star King. Now, I came across this brand when I was doing kind of a short series of finding the cheapest watches on Amazon and buying them. And I came across this brand called Star King, and I reviewed a few of their watches, and they are pretty damn good. Now, guys, there's a car alarm going off outside. I don't know if the mic's picking it up, but just turned off. All right, cool. Perks of living in the big city. Hey, I gotta get the out of here. But the Star King watches that I've taken a look at have been something that I compared to like Bambinos at the time, right? Something like an Orient Bambino or even like a Seiko Cocktail Time. It's kind of a dressy, everyday piece, very sharp details, like the handset was very sharp, played with the light very nice, simple enough to wear day to day, but with really impressive specs. Sapphire crystals, automatic movements, display case backs, very clean, pristine presentation, and pretty much an unbeatable bang per buck, right? You'd be getting all of this for a fraction of the price of even an Orient Bambino. So how do I feel about Chinese watches, and are they worth buying? Yeah, I think that when you find a good one, like something from Star King or a comparable brand from China, I think it's an incredible way for a budding watch enthusiast to get into collecting and finding things that they like without totally obliterating their bank account. Like, if you're going to experiment and find things that you like, why throw a bunch of money on a couple watches that you're unsure of when you can spend a little money trying a few watches, and then you can have some to choose from in your collection, but also you can kind of sample things and find your niche in the watch world. I hope that made sense. Now, taking things one step further, there are also Chinese watchmakers and Chinese watches specifically with legit horological significance and historical significance. One thing that I mentioned earlier in the episode, the Seagull 1963. This is a watch with legit historical lineage, and I've said it before, like at the start of my channel, this is a wristwatch every watch collector should own at one point in time. I've owned a couple of them, I've sold a bunch of them. I think they are awesome watches. And if you're looking for your first mechanical chronograph, Seagull 1963 is a great place to start. So why do I think China and Chinese watches are looked down upon amongst, the hoity-toity watch enthusiasts? Well, first I want to say that those hoity-toity turtleneck-wearing hodinks are going to look down upon most things, regardless of where they're from. I think the fact that China mass produces a lot of products might make their products seem less special to some people. I think that there are also a lot of crappy watches to come out of China. But that's true with just most watches in general. Like, you should be doing your research and be curating your collection and, looking at a watch to watch spectrum and comparing all of them regardless of the origin of production to really find one that you like. And this is why I say try to judge watches on a watch-to-watch basis, because you could be surprised. Not all watches from the Mecca of Switzerland are good, and not all watches from China are rubbish. But honestly, in my opinion, I think the number one thing that gives China a bad rep when it comes to horological production is their counterfeit market, okay? The truth is that has done everlasting damage to their reputation because, China is probably one of the largest, if not the largest, producer of counterfeit products. And in this regard, we are talking specifically about wristwatches. So I think a lot of old school collectors, when they think of the word watches and China, they think Chinese watches, and then they immediately attribute that to fake watches. Nowadays, we have the benefit of going online and finding a bunch of really cool, legit Chinese watchmakers that aren't producing fake products, they're producing their own products. And yes, not all of them are good, but some of them will really surprise you, like Star King, and they're not paying me to talk about them right now. So I hope this episode was interesting to you. I hope it had some form of coherent thought going through it when we're talking about Chinese horology and how it affects the horological space. And don't write any country out when it comes to their production of timepieces, because you could be surprised. Try to judge watches on a watch-to-watch basis, and keep an open mind. There might be something in there that you could extrapolate and transpose to a human interaction as well. But that's not for this channel. All right, guys, I love each and every one of you. I hope you have a blessed, happy Thanksgiving to all who celebrate. I am very, very grateful for each and every one of you. This episode, I think we might have one more episode coming out just before Thanksgiving or on Thanksgiving. But if you don't see that one, or if that one doesn't come out in time, then I do want to sit here for a moment and just tell you that, my personal life has gone through ups and downs. My channel has gone through ups and downs. That's just the way of life. That's the way of social media specifically. But for the people who keep showing up and the people that are just newly joining in, I do want to say thank you, because you guys have made my life so fulfilling, and you've enriched it, and I get to, see the same people in the comment sections and kind of anticipate their personality just through their comments. And I have, relationships joking around with each and every one of you. You guys rag on me, I rag on you. And it's just a whole lot of fun to see the recurring viewers and to meet new viewers. So I just love each and every one of you guys. And I really do want to thank you for hanging out with me. And notice how I try to never use the word fans. I have fans. Oh, my fans. My blah, blah. You guys are my viewers. You guys are my subscribers. But if anything, you're more friends of mine. I don't have a whole lot of time to have a social life and get out there. And for better or for worse, a lot of my life is online, paying attention to these devices and communicating with people through electronics. And so luckily, I get to interact with a whole lot of really incredible people like you. So happy Thanksgiving. I'm very grateful and thankful for each and every one of you. And every year, the Time Teller Shop does a Black Friday sale, and we tend to sell a bunch of products, and we are doing one, and I always, pitch it pretty hard before the sale happens. And this year is no different, but instead of thanking you guys for supporting me after the sale, I do want to thank you so much for checking out the Time Teller Shop and making sure that's successful as well. I really do love you guys. So I will catch you on the next one. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay blessed. I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller, and always remember, I didn't invent time. I just tell it.